Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm just checking to make sure that Twitch is all good. We'll be underway in a minute or so, and I'll get you going with this. 1 second, I'll just check this is working. And there we go. Right, that's up and running. Good evening, the Burnt Fry. How are you doing? Just bear me 2 minutes, Burnt Fry. I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to post this link on the NxtGen page and a few others, see if we can get some viewers in this stuff, and then I'll be right back with you. Let's post that there. That's done. That's Mature Racing Club. I've just gone into Mature Racing Club, so am I going back into it? I have no idea. And on NxtGen, and the boys in the chat have got the link as well. Right, so let's have a look at viewers. Bit of news before we get underway. This is mainly for those of you watching on Twitch. We have hit Twitch affiliate, so I'm now eligible for the affiliate program. So that will be that'll be coming in. I'll work on that in the next few days. So that's that. A thank you for a few people that joined in while we were away. So thank you for Chrissy Whiskers and Ninja7 for following. Appreciate everyone's follow and everything so far. So if you're watching this and you've not yet followed, if you just hit that little purple follow love heart thing, that would help me out a lot. Obviously the top thing that I like is engagement, so whenever you see me streaming, pop into the chat. I've always got the chat open. I will always have a chat with you, and if you call Burnt Fry, I'll usually give you some abuse. Anyway, on with the thing. If you're watching on YouTube, the video that's just before this one is a spotter's guide for this league. So I posted a video up about an hour ago, and it showed off all the drivers and all the cars. So this is the PMR Racing eSeries, held on GT Sport. It's a spec series, so all the cars are the same. You can probably tell just by the view that you've got right now. So they're all exactly the same. It is literally just a case of the drivers different in each car, because they're even tied down to how much, you know, the BOP is the same. The tyres are the same. There is no fuel depletion, nothing like that. So it's literally just driver skill. This is round number 1 of season 18, so we'll take you through the grid. So qualified on pole is Hirakram, so this is someone that is a hot favourite to win the entire thing. Jaino though, now Club 100 Jaino, in number 13 Adrian Fluxcar, he's looking to stop him. Ruddo 24 is someone that didn't appear on my driver list, so sorry Ruddo for not including you in the original thing. I got sent an entry sheet and your name wasn't on it, my apologies. He's in the number 24 Mastervolt car. Then in P4, Bruce Lee Harding, he's in the Dread car today, and we've got Wace, who's also changed his gamer tag. He's in the number 66 Tank Tools car. Frederick G and the number 74 Geisen car, qualified on P6 for this one. And then in P7, in the number 92 Steel Seal car, is P Gib 92. Line up next to him, good qualifying for JPH 99 in the number 16 Power Max car. P8 for JPH in this one. Then we've got Burnt Fry. Burnt Fry is the reigning NxtGen Race of Winners champion. So for those who don't know, everyone who races in the NxtGen league, if you come first or second in the championship, you go into a race, a series of races from all the other leagues, so all the winners basically, hence the Race of Winners name. It's quite self-explanatory, but I'm explaining it anyway. All those people battled it out, and Burnt Fry came out on top in that one, so a big well done to Burnt Fry. We're expecting big things from him in this season. And then Mark Miller in the number 28 3M car. So that's your grid. So we've got 10 cars tonight, 20-minute race, so nice and easy. Let's get underway and see what sort of chaos ensues. This race happened on Thursday. I was stuck in Wales, hence why this is a little bit late. So apologies to the guys for not being able to do this on time, but the lights are on, and once they go out we'll be away. Ruddo got a terrible start. He immediately moves to try and block the move of Wace, but he's not able to do that. Frederick G also makes a move up the inside as well. Wace now looking for moves. Burntfry immediately up to P6. He's had a great start. Frederick G also battling up there with these guys. Well, a little bit of contact there from Frederick, as he didn't quite expect Burntfry to be there. Burntfry's now up to P4. Wace also made a good start in P3. Heracrown's made a clean getaway though, but Jano is looking to stop him in his tracks. Everyone sort of getting through quite cleanly though. A couple of people having to just take to the escape road off to the left there. Ruddo24 has solved his issues, I think, and he's back into P6. JPH holds station in P8. Mike Miller P9, and Pete Gibbs had an awful start down in P10 as he come down towards the hairpin for the very first time of asking. Heracrown leading the field, then J-Eno is right on his tail. My keyboard shortcuts aren't properly working on this one for some reason. It's because it's not live, so we won't have the rear facing cameras for you today. Wace is managing to keep hold of those guys quite closely. Burntfry's holding on there as well, but Burntfry's being hassled by Frederick, so Frederick could obviously stop Burntfry from progressing forward. Quite early on in the race, you don't want to scrap too much. Burntfry just taking a little bit to the grass there to get through. Bruce Lee Harding running P6 at the minute with Ruddo in P7 behind him. Bruce has made a position up there through that lap that we have missed. A little bit behind these guys is JPH, but there's action at the front as Burntfry was looking to make a move around the outside of Wace there at the chicane. A little bit of contact between the two drivers. I think Burntfry backs off there, and that's going to bring Frederick G into the equation. Burntfry just able to cover that one off. Wace defending really nicely there, but has picked up a little bit of a penalty for his trouble. Penalties in terms of this one can just be burnt off organically is probably the best word. As Burntfry really going, Burntfry's eager to get that P3, and he's got it made down the inside. Wace in the end just had to take to the outside line, was probably hoping to get the switchback done, but alas has not happened. Frederick G battling now with Wace on the outside. Wace has got the inside, so that should be quite an easy defence for the number 66 Tang Tools car. I don't know why it went on board then. Not too sure. Let's have a little bit of a look further back. JPH up to P8. Ruddo, sorry, P7. Ruddo now down to P8. He's having a bit of a shocking start. P Gibb, we know how fast P Gibb is. He's P10 at the minute. It's P Gibb, but he'll be looking to get up there, and he's made a place already up on Mark Miller. Mark's debut in the season, so we wish him well. These cars are quite hard to get used to. They're quite weird to drive in a weird way. So they can take a few rounds just to get your eye in. That's what I found with a couple of drivers last time. Jano was one of them who we're looking at now. Took a couple of races just to get the hang of the Megane, and once you've got your ear in with how the car handles, its little quirks, it can be quite a solid car to drive. Meanwhile on Burntfry P3, if him and Wace can work together then, I've got a feel they're not going to, don't get me wrong, but if they can, as we see Frederick and Bruce Lee Harding, you see what I mean, just the back end of these cars can get light under braking. A weird thing, I've got the drivers talking to me in chat. Yeah, like me as well. Yeah, you were the same, Burntfry, you were the same, mate. Yeah, don't normally have the drivers in chat for this, but there we go. Right, let's catch back up with Heracrown then. We have a habit on this channel of not covering the people in P1, and that's because it's quite boring. Heracrown's just out there lapping. He's just on a 58.1 in race trim. 58.8, that's our around for Jano, so Heracrown is pulling away. 59.1 for Burntfry. He'll be hoping he can start lapping a bit quicker now to reel in Jano up front. There was a battle for 5th that has settled down massively now. Frederick G leading away to Bruce Lee Harding. That position is by no means settled though, because if you just take a look on board Bruce's car on his roof right now, you can just see he's still quite close. You can even see P2 off in the distance there. So all is not yet finished. A little bit of a gap back to JPH Stout in the PMR number 16 car. JPH's last lap round was pretty much the 2 minutes dead, although he's not really getting much pressure from Ruddo behind. He's pulling away a little bit, Ruddo with the indicators on there, not really too sure what he's signifying, whether he's just caught his hand on those, not too sure. But Ruddo, a solid P8 for him at the minute. He's got P Gibb catching him up though. In the number 92 Steel Seal car, he's getting a little bit of pressure from Mark Miller. Mark is not letting that place go easily. We'll just jump on board with the 3M car as he runs through the Schumacher S. He's looking for a gap. He's filling P Gibbs' mirrors up with prime 3M Megane. Gets on the brakes nice and early, Mark Miller does. Just tidies up really tidy at the apex. You really want to carry a lot of speed through this section because it will determine your speed all the way down and up to the chicane. Personal best sector there for Mark Miller, so he's starting to get used to this car already. Jump back up to Heracramp, yeah, there you are, still P1. Jaino then, he's starting to get dropped by Heracramp up ahead, but he is also dropping Burnfly by the looks of things as well. Let's have a look at the lap times as they go ahead. So that time around, 58.7, 58.7 for Burnfly as well, so Burnfly is doing quite nicely actually to keep up to him, so my mistake. Frederick G then with 3.8 seconds worth of penalties. That is the same as killing the Pope. So he's took some massive track cuts there somewhere along the line too. That's now up to 4.6 seconds. So that is an eternity in the gulag for Frederick G if he doesn't burn those off. Bruce Lee Harding will be licking his lips in anticipation because at some point those penalties have got to drop off Frederick's car. And Nurburgring GP isn't the easiest place to lose them. JPH is starting to reel the guys in up ahead. Ruddo is keeping him honest. And a little bit further back, Mark Miller has got past P-Geb. These two still battling for the not last challenge right now. Mark Miller certainly showing his intent in the championship that he won't take any fight lying down. He's right at the back this time around, but he'll get used to that car soon enough, I would imagine. So a couple of things to watch out for during the next 13 minutes or so. Can Burnfly catch Jano? I obviously don't know the results of this at all. I've no idea how this finished. Can Waste keep Burnfly honest? Can Frederick G keep hold of that 5th place with a year's worth of penalties on that car? And can Ruddo in his debut keep JPH at bay, because he's got P7 back as Ruddo. JPH has made a mistake somewhere along the line, and Ruddo's back up to P7. Personal best second sector for Ruddo as well, so he's running very nicely in that 24 Mastervolt car. I know how this finishes. Don't tell me, don't spoil it. Don't spoil the surprise, Burnfly. I know what you like. So let's just ride on board with JPH99 for a bit of a lap around Nurburgring GP. So the track very much characterised by turn 1, which is an acute angle hairpin downhill, so the braking's quite difficult for this. The car wants to oversteer on entry. You want a wide entry point, something JPH isn't doing here. Brake about 100 metres, trail brake, second gear just to get the rotation and clip the apex, then run the car out wide, swing immediately over to the right, then back to the left, hold this apex tight for T2 and down into the Mercedes Arena complex. You want to really get tight to this apex on the left hand side, and as soon as the curb ends, back over to the right. 2 wheels on that curb is more than acceptable for track limits. A lot of drivers will pick up penalties for cutting that just there. Braking just as the track cut ends there. Again, run the apex nice and tight, a little squirt of acceleration, and then down towards the hairpin. Again, you want a good exit from this corner because you can. This is a prime overtaking opportunity down here. As the spectators line the circuit hard on the brakes. There's a camber on here, so you can carry more speed than you feel is realistic on the power a lot earlier than you can, a lot earlier than you feel like you can as well. Schumacher S's in these cars should be flat out. Yeah, not a hint of a lift from JPH's car there as he screams his way up the hill. Braking again, 100 metres. You want that green stuff on the inside is actually quite grippy. You want to run 2 wheels on that as much as you possibly can. Squirt to the right. Pretty much coax that in these cars. It's quite easy as watching Ruddo try and make a move on Bruce Lee Harding. We'll cut to that camera in just a second and have a look and see how that's progressing. Frederick G's coming under all sorts of pressure here.
Ruddo got a great exit. It looked for a second like he cut it then, but he actually didn't. He just about got his tyre positioning right. Bruce Lee Harding's trying to fight this. Probably better off just sitting back for the time being and getting that move done down into T1. A couple of comments. I've no idea what I'm ahead of the wooden spoon battle. Fair play, mate. Well, we'll keep checking in on the wooden spoon battle as the race progresses. Ruddo then was going for a move on Frederick. Geez, a lovely executed overtake by Ruddo there. Let's see if we get a replay of that. I'm not sure we can. No, we can't because my keyboard's not working. My lap 2 was poor, dropped out at the toe. Would have been nice to have it for a few more laps. Yes, we did kind of pick up on that, Jane, although your pace was still quite nice, mate. Bruce Lee are having drunk gin tonight. I'm glad this isn't live. I'm on my I don't know how many beers. I've had quite a few. Really hot where I am today, so I hope you're all barbecued and ginned up as well. So Ruddo 24 then. Great drive from him so far. P5 for Ruddo. He's doing a very good job in that. Had an awful start, but has recovered his race. He's gone a little bit deep at the hairpin now. Frederick gives him a little bit of a bump. Frederick, that unsettles Frederick's car though, because all the weight suddenly shifts to the back. And next thing you know, he's a little bit backwards, and that invites Bruce Lee Harding through with no trouble at all up into P6. JPH has really caught up to this battle then. All that fighting in that last lap has reeled JPH right into this fight. P Gibbs losing the wooden spoon battle for the time being, but we'll keep an eye on them too, because they have been having some pretty decent racing throughout this. Ruddo's got a little bit of a penalty as well. Where's Frederick with his penalties, by the way? 5.4 seconds. Yeah, that's for murder, mate. What have you been doing? That's what he's there. That's what he's been doing. I think all the gin that Bruce Lee Harding's drinking tonight, Frederick drank on the race night. I mean, he's just been cutting corners like no man's land. Anyway, Frederick G, P7 with about a year's worth of penalties to shrug off by some point in the race. Hiraquan boringly out in front by a long way, clean into the low 58s as well in race trim. Jano without a toe. Struggling to keep up a little bit, but has been knocking in some respectable lot of times. He's got a decent gap over Burntfly as well. Burntfly's not in his toe at all. Burntfly's on his pace, so 58.7 from Burntfly last time round, so he's doing quite well. He's dropping Wace, who's also done his personal best. So the drivers now, this is round 1. The guys may have done a little bit of pre-season testing. That's completely up to them, how much they did, if any. I know some will have done quite a lot, some will have just jumped in tonight and not done any, so they'll be getting better as the race goes on. Speaking of getting better as the race goes on, Ruddo 24 has had a poor couple of opening laps, but has recovered his pace nicely. He now leads Bruce Lee Harding by half a second or so at least. Bruce Lee Harding starting to drop Frederick G, who's coming under insane pressure from JPH 99 now. JPH running in P8 at the minute as Frederick just takes a little bit too much off road there at this Schumacher Asses. I think he gets even more of a penalty for that. Practices for winners, hence I don't practice. Yeah, well, I practice, mate, and I don't win now, so I don't know what's to be said about that. And then the wooden spoon battle. Mark Miller at the minute is winning that one clean and square in P9. P Gibb P10 for him at the minute, but has just done a 59.9, his best lap of the race so far, so maybe he's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. Already making the approach into turn 1 though, as we hit the 14-minute mark of this race, is Hiraquan. Nice and consistent from Hiraquan so far, so he's just gone the slowest he's gone so far with 58.3. Jano carrying a little bit of a penalty, not a lot there, 3 tenths of a second, that's nothing. He can shrug that off nice and easily, but he's just done a 59.1. And that was 8 tenths quicker than Burntfire that last time around, so a little bit of no man's land for some of these guys now as the field starts to spread. What we found last season was that this was the way it happened until about the 17-minute mark, and then it all crescendoed together and everyone realised they were now suddenly battling for a result and started kicking crap out of one another, for want of a better word.
So a little bit of a shout to the liveries that are being represented in this one, as we have some relative calm. You'll notice as I scroll through the cameras that every car has a similar but unique livery on it. So this series is obviously sponsored by PowerMax Racing, and that is there is a little logo on the car somewhere. I think it's on the back left. There it is. PowerMax have got behind this, and some of the companies that associate themselves with PowerMax are also represented in the liveries on the car. So you see this Tank Tools one on the side of Oasis car there, that's one of them. Heracram, he's in the joist design. Yeah, is that joist design? It is. And my eyesight is getting better as I age. Then we've got Adrian Flux representing there on Gino's car. Bent Fry is in the Sales Eye livery car. Of course, there is a spotter's guide available on YouTube for this. If you just scroll the video back, that will give you a really good look at the liveries and the drivers that are driving them as well. One person that isn't in that is in the 24 Mastervolt car. That's Ruddo 24. I have a feeling I did put a Mastervolt car in the video. I just don't think it was Ruddo's name against it. The Dread car, I think, is Bruce Lee Harding. So he's running around in P6 at the minute. Frederick G, what car are you in? I should know by now. He's in the Geisen liveried car, the number 74, as he goes for a move on Bruce Lee Harding there. A good old lungeroo by Frederick, goes a little bit deep. Bruce Lee Harding is able to get the cutback on him. Nice move there by Bruce. Kind of let that move happen, knowing the cutback would be available. So some lovely driving there by Bruce Lee Harding to retain that P6. The livery is JPX99, who's running in the PowerMax Racing livery number 16 car. So that's the one that really stands out for me on the field. Mark Miller in the 3M number 28, and P. Gibb in the Steel Seal car number 92. All these liveries were made by hand by this man, JPX99, so shout out to him for all the effort he goes in for this league. He hosts it, he does everything behind the scenes, all the tables, and he makes the liveries, and he also does his own comms as well, so check him out on YouTube. He's a nice bloke. He joins me occasionally in the commentary booth. I was proud of it. It was a good move, Bruce. I just wish I'd replay on it, mate. It's kind of the way I saw that. You saw it happening. You stayed wide. You stayed left. I think you sort of saw that coming from a mile off. Just let him go deep because he was going to, and cut back. Nice move. Move of the race so far. That. Heracram, yeah, winning still. Sorry, Heracram, but it's boring. Just there we go. Let's watch Heracram for 10 seconds or so as he perfectly navigates his way around the lap. Heracram's one of them FIA top 16 alien guys, so yeah, he's ridiculously fast. 57.9. Ridiculous pace. Anyway, enough of watching aliens. Burnt Fry, Jano, let's have a look. Is that battle coming to a crescendo? Jano did lose a little bit of pace there last time around. Burnt Fry had his best lap, so he has reeled him in a little bit. He's running out of time though. I think they'll get around in time to do another lap after this one. Looks like Burnt Fry might be running out of time. He's gonna need a mistake out of Jano in order to get that second spot off him. Bruce has now comfortably got ahead of Frederick, who's now got 8.4 seconds worth of penalty. Let's let that sink in. 8 seconds, that is an eternity in these cars. As he's going to get more now as well, because I've just seen him cut that corner. 9.4 seconds. Is he going to get that over 10 seconds by the end of the race? Wood's move on Fred was move of the race. Did I catch that? I think I did. Actually. Rudd's had a really good race actually. We'll go and give him some kudos in just a second. Yeah, here's the man of the moment, Ruddo 24. Yeah, for me, and I'll probably sort of agree with the guys in chat that Rudd's had a superb drive. Bit of a poor start, which made his effort this afternoon a lot harder than it would have otherwise been. But a well-measured drive from Ruddo. Has had good pace throughout as well, very consistent, pulled off some clean moves, and unless anything magical happens in the last minute or so, for me, personal opinion, Ruddo's driver of the day. Oi. Yeah, mate, Brew, I'm not discrediting your move, mate, but there's been opposition shouts in the chat. I'll let you two resolve that. I won't get involved. I will not get involved in that one at all.
let's have a look then. What's going off? What's going to kick off on this last lap? Because we've got 10 seconds to go now. So Bertfire's going to get another lap in. I think Wace will do it. Will Ruddo get across the line in time? I think he'll just about make it. Oh, and then it's got tight. Frederic's got Bruce. Oh, he's going to have a year's worth of penalties to serve, like, so he's not going to win. But yeah, Frederick G actually got ahead of Bruce Lee Harding at the end. In fact, let's go back and have a look at what happened there. So we want to be on board. Good move. Good move actually there by Frederick. He did the old switcheroo on Bruce, but again, when the guy's carrying 10 seconds worth of penalties, I think you can just afford to let him go, you know. It's not going to matter. He can finish P6 on the road, but you'll get the move. There you go. So Bruce Lee Harding grabs P6 then, after Frederick serves about a year's worth of penalties. JPH might actually get, yeah, JPH has got P7. Mark Miller's actually got P8 as well because of Frederick's penalties. So Frederick all the way down to P9 then because of all the penalties he was carrying during that race. And P Gibb, a wooden spoon goes to P Gibb, then P10 for him. But we've seen some good action from him in the season 17, so we may have more to come. Anything else kicking off on track? The closest action you've got at the minute is Wace v Ruddo. There's a bit of a gap between the two guys, but Wace is carrying a penalty of 0.9, Ruddo's got 1.4, so I have a feeling that's going to be as is, ladies and gents, I'm afraid. Burntfry P3 for him with half a second of a penalty to serve. Jano still carrying that 0.3 seconds there, but a solid P2 for him at the minute. And Hirakram, unless he has a Lewis Hamilton-esque tyre explosion or something, will seal his first victory of the season. A pole, a victory, and the fastest lap for Hirakram so far. I don't want to commentate his cursed it because he's still got 3 corners to navigate, but he should be all good. So they'll be dancing in the streets of outside the Joyce Design offices tonight. Their guy has claimed their first win of the season, and he will take a firm standing at the top spot. So Hirakram P1 then on the road. Jano, solid P2, a great drive from Jano. Unfortunately he dropped the toe quite early on, but maintained good consistent pace, so definitely one to watch in the championship this time around. Another one to watch is Burntfry. We know his ability on the road as well. P3, last podium position for Burntfry. Ruddo, solid drive from Ruddo to claim P4. I knew Frederick had a life sentence, I'd have dropped my penalty. Might not have got the spoon. I think you might have had a chance to do that, you know. But you weren't to know, Gib. You weren't to know, man. Anyway, yeah. So that's the full coverage from Thursday's race of the Powermax Racing eSeries Renault Megane Trophy. Do apologise for this being delayed. We were stuck in Wales is probably the best way of putting it, but chances are I wouldn't have got back in time to do it anyway. So future streams will happen on time, I hope, pending work commitments and stuff. So join me again Thursday night live from about 5 to 8, where I'll be covering the next race. I don't know where it's from, so if anyone in chat wants to give me a heads up, that'd be great. If you're not following the channel, please do just that. There is a little purple follow love heart button on your screen somewhere. If you click that, I will get warm fuzzy vibes through the internet, and it will also then hopefully notify you when I'm live, so you can jump in and see other stuff as well. Laguna Seca, oh beautiful, I love Laguna Seca. So yeah, we're live from the famous Californian track Laguna Seca next week. So the guys will be heavy doing their practice for that one. So again, it's a nice short race, so 10-minute quali, 20-minute race. So join us for that next Thursday. Next on the channel, what is it today? It's Saturday today, isn't it? Tomorrow we're live with Tanzo again for their Megane trophy. Everyone's driving Meganes at the minute. I think that's coming to a conclusion at Red Bull Ring in the rain tomorrow, so be sure to join in about 9 o'clock for that one tomorrow. Thank you for joining. Well done to all the drivers. Hope we get a better turnout next week, of course, but thank you for tuning in to this one. Have a good weekend, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.